Discipline is the only way you're ever going to experience true freedom. Consider the sentence, I'm able to begin a task and complete it regardless of boredom or distractions. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you agree with that statement? Now, if you've rated yourself a 10 out of 10, then you really don't need this video. But if you're like most people and you're anything below that, you could do with more discipline.
Most people think discipline is forcing yourself to do things you hate. You keep making promises to yourself. You keep breaking them. You keep saying you're going to do this. You keep saying you're going to do that, but you don't. And after enough times, you don't just start doubting the goal. You start doubting yourself. And guys, I know how this feels. I've been there. It's not a you problem, and it only becomes your fault if you don't do anything about it and if you don't change it. It's an identity issue. So your behavior is guided by something that's called a self-schema. It's basically like your own identity that is reinforced by your behavior. Your brain and what you think of yourself keeps a record of how you act, how you behave, what you do, your actions. And over time, whatever you do a lot starts to become who you are. For example, if you keep skipping, you're going to start to believe that you're a skipper. If you quit a lot, you're gonna start to believe that you are a quitter. If you keep showing up, you're gonna believe that you're the kind of person that shows up. Your identity starts from your behavior. It's not something you just believe. You need to act accordingly to give yourself evidence to build that identity before you actually become it and before your behavior aligns. So for example, right, if you apply the same logic, when you break a promise to yourself, or when you don't follow through, or when you don't do work, basically when you're undisciplined, you're telling yourself and how you perceive yourself that you thought you were disciplined but you didn't act like it, so therefore you are not disciplined, therefore you're not a disciplined person. And over time, when you keep messing up like this, your behavior sort of stacks and it starts aligning with how you believe who you are. Like, if you keep losing a game, you stop believing that it's your behavior and you start believing that that's just your identity and that's just who you are. And that's very dangerous because it starts to feel like it's not in your control anymore. Before I tell you the solution to this, I want to give you one of my favorite quotes. It goes like this: we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. This quote is commonly attributed to Aristotle. All right, now here's how to fix your identity and fix this behavior alignment issue. Firstly, you need to set easy promises to yourself. Really easy promises to yourself. Make a quick to-do list and write down easy things that you know you can complete. For example, brushing your teeth, washing your face, drinking water. Write that down on your to-do list. That's the first step. Simple. The whole point of this first step is to make yourself believe that you are someone who is disciplined and someone who shows up, someone who follows through. That's the whole point of this first step. So it's very important that you only write things down that you know you guaranteed will complete. Once that's done, you're gonna start to feel like, okay, I'm the kind of person that is kind of disciplined, checking off your to-do list every day. And, over time, you're going to really start to believe that, okay, maybe I am disciplined and maybe I am getting the hang of it. Now, the second step to this is you slowly increase the difficulty of the tasks on your to-do list until you reach a point where you're writing things down on your to-do list that are things you actually need to complete in your life. Since you've had that early on proof that you are someone who's disciplined because you've been doing those easy tasks we talked about earlier, now when you write down these harder tasks, these more tasks that you actually want to do, then since you do genuinely believe that you're someone who follows through, completes the work, completes your to-do list, it's going to feel almost like automatic that you check off your to-do list. And this method, man, has worked wonders for me, I'm telling you. All right, so those are the things you need to do in order to create a quick system on how to get work done, if you want to start taking your life seriously. So a quick tip, by the way, is to never miss twice, because that's when it starts to become a habit, forming a new identity. It's okay to fall, but when you do, stand back up so you don't forget how to walk. Once you have your identity set down, you're missing a very important piece, which is your environment. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Okay, you sit down to work and suddenly your brain discovers 12 other things you need to do. You know, your phone's over there calling out your name, your bed looking like your soulmate. And you know, you want to get work done, but you just find it so hard to focus. And that's because of your environment. It's like you're telling yourself you lack discipline, but you're really trying to win a fight where your enemy is in the same room as you. Human behavior is highly sensitive to something called initiation cost and choice architecture. Basically, if the first step is hard to do, high friction, you're going to procrastinate, even if you want it. Distractions often win over your prefer deep focus work because distractions offer immediate rewards, while meaningful goals and deep work pay through delayed reinforcement and delayed gratification. So what's the solution? The solution here is something called pre-commitment. Basically, what that means is you make the default task the easiest, the one that you're aiming for, and stop relying on just pure willpower. Here are the 3 steps I'm going to give you that has helped me build and achieve proper focus. Step 1, build a launch pad. So for your goals, right, whether it be studying, going to the gym, or working on your business, you need to build a launch pad for yourself, something you can easily access, you know. So for example, if you want to study more, just have your desk always clean, always have your notes out, have it there and ready. Or if you want to go to the gym, have your gym bag packed, you know, protein powder, water, pack your towel, whatever you need, just have it ready there like that. So it's like a mini launch pad for you, and it's very fluid and easy for you to, you know, do that task. Okay, step 2 is friction. Distractions is very hard to avoid when it's right next to you. Make it really hard to access your distractions so the main goal, the main focus becomes easier than your distractions. For example, you can put your phone in another room, delete social media, use like these ad blockers, or what are they called? Like YouTube blockers, social blockers on your laptop. It really works because every time you try to access it again, there's just so much friction to it that you might as well just do the work you should be doing instead of procrastinating. Step 3, realize that you need to do the first ugly rep when it comes to starting something. Oftentimes, the hardest part of getting work done is starting, and it's very easy to fix. Imagine me in your head and go like this. Okay, I just need to get through this first ugly step of my studying, and then everything will be smooth sailing after that. Because it's very true. The hardest part when it comes to getting work done is starting. It's that initial push that you need. Once that's over, momentum takes over and it's way easier to carry on. So when you're about to do work, right, don't go into it having any pre-commitment. Like, don't say, okay, I need to complete this in an hour, I need to do this for at least 30 minutes. Just have the commitment of, okay, I need to only get over the starting part. And once you do, more often than not, momentum takes over. All right, so once you handle your identity and your environment, there's no point in being disciplined if your body is tired. When I sleep badly, when I have low energy, and you know, my brain feels foggy, it's so much harder to just be disciplined, bro. And I just want to do the most relaxing thing, because in those moments, your brain is trying to conserve energy. And on top of that, you're tired. It's like you're fighting an uphill battle to get things done. So please, if you're feeling like you're not disciplined, you're not able to get work done, one of the big reasons that could be is because you're not getting enough sleep, because you're high stress, because you're not rested well, all these things. All right, quick tips. Go to sleep and wake up at the same time. No caffeine, no naps, and just work in the day before you have your more relaxing downtime. All right, so I'm not asking you to have the perfect life, right? You just need a baseline. So here's how, okay? Like I said, lock in the consistent wake up and go to sleep time. Have at least 10 minutes outside. And it would be better if that's in sun, but 10 minutes outside, a brisk walk is good enough, man. I personally like going to the gym, and I keep it to about 20 to 30 minutes, you know. And this is very important. I notice most people, they're productive in the morning, but the second it's after lunch, that's when we slack. Like for me especially, like when I eat lunch, after lunch, I'm like, oh, I really just want to sleep. I want to scroll. I want to watch YouTube videos. So after lunch, don't like try to get work done. After lunch, just walk around, take deep breaths, go outside if that's possible. Exercise a bit, move about a bit. Don't try to do work for at least 30 minutes after you eat. That's all. That's the 3 stages. But now I'm going to talk about why discipline is really the only way to true freedom. So discipline is the only way to achieve true freedom. And before we discuss what that means, right, we need to first define what true freedom means. And I think to me and a lot of people, true freedom would mean we're living a life that we genuinely enjoy with the people we genuinely enjoy being around. And, you know, doing what we want, doing what we like, having time freedom and financial freedom, you know, not being chained to money. And if you really think about that, like if you really look, say, 20 years, 30 years, 10 years into the future, and you try to picture like, okay, what's my dream life? Okay, maybe you live in a nice house, you have time, you can go out and do things you want, hang out with friends, play the sports you love, right? At least that's for me. I'm sure you have your own idea of what your dream life is. But if you think about the steps to achieving that, you need money. You need status. You need to be clear in your head. You need to have a good physique, good health. And these kind of things, they take years to achieve, right? So to have a dream life, you need to have the fundamentals set right. And all of that takes years to achieve and a ton of discipline. So that's why I really, 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 truly believe discipline is the only way you're ever going to achieve true freedom. Unless you're born into like royalty, then maybe you don't really need to be disciplined. But other than that, yeah. Anyways, before I summarize what everything we've learned today, I'm Rio, and I help young men go from unfocused, undisciplined, inconsistent to disciplined and sharpened with a clear sense of purpose. And I do this through science-based self-improvement like this. So you don't just get advice, but you understand the mechanisms and science behind it all, so you understand it and can actually apply it to change your life. I'm a big believer in when you understand things, it's way better than just knowing things and memorizing them. So I cover all sorts of topics like discipline, fitness, dating, focus, and so much more, along with the science behind it. So yeah, life is basically one big equation, and this channel helps you solve it. So let's summarize the 3 things. If you want real discipline, don't treat it like a personality thing, but you need to first get your identity set right, then your environment, and then energy. And as always, all the best. I'm rooting for you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.